They say grief does strange things to the mind, that when you carry it long enough, it begins to look for ways to escape your body. For Mira Everly, grief had become her shadow. It had been 5 years since her younger sister Riley disappeared. No body, no note, brakes hissing, tires grinding against the wet road. No sign of struggle. She simply vanished on her way to school. The police ruled it a runaway case, but Myra never believed that. Riley wouldn't leave her, wouldn't leave their mother, who died just a year before. What she left behind was a single item, her burned notebook found in the middle of a transit yard. The edges were scorched, most of the pages unreadable. Mira kept it in a drawer. Mira was walking home from the city archive, where she'd spent her nights combing through microfilm and dusty police reports. No taxis, no people, just the hiss of a light drizzle on concrete. She passed a forgotten bus stop with no shelter. She knew that now. Just a pole and faded route map that hadn't been updated in decades. Outside, she saw a massive, empty platform suspended in blackness. It looked like a cross between a train terminal and a morgue. No walls, no end. Just doors, hundreds of them, floating in space. And over the years, she returned to it again and again, trying to make sense of its fragmented entries, cryptic notes, exactly as it had been the day she disappeared. And there, sitting on the edge of the bed, was Riley. Sketches of buses, clocks stuck at the same time, 3:33. She thought she was going mad. "I didn't stop looking," she said, falling to her knees. "I swear, I didn't stop, until one night, nobody she could see. It only comes for those who remember. Now it remembers you." But now it was whole, intact, and alive, breathing almost. The pages moved on their own, whispering. Her mouth stretched unnaturally wide, eyes black and dripping. And when she opened her mouth, it wasn't her voice that came out. It was 1,000 voices layered over one another. The driver's seat was obscured by shadows. Yet something compelled her to step forward. And then she heard it. Something found her. It was 3:26 a.m. on a Wednesday. Then came the sound, a low rumble. She turned. A red bus pulled in front of her. I followed the security feeds. I saw the bus. I followed you. Just a swirl of black smoke, ever shifting, reflecting back pieces of Myra's own memories. Old, rusted, paint peeling like dry skin. The LED sign flickered violently before it stabilized into a glowing green. 3:33. Familiar. The doors creaked open. Nobody was inside. At least, Mira stepped onto the bus. The air changed. The bus rolled past them as if moving through her past. Warmer, thicker, like stepping into a memory preserved in syrup. The world outside no longer looked like her city. Instead, it was shifting. A girl's voice. "Myra." He built a caseboard. Collected old tickets, photos, bus schedules. Faint. It was Riley's voice. Without thinking, the moment she did, snapshots of her life flickered through the bus windows. Her childhood bedroom, her sister drawing on the floor, the hospital bed where their mother died. A voice came from the intercom. Next stop, Remembrance. She should have run. The bus stopped. There was no announcement, no sound, just the soft ding of the door opening. One door stood out, painted white, old, scratched with crayon scribbles she remembered well. It was Riley's bedroom door. The air smelled like vanilla, like the candles their mom used to light during storms. Myra stepped through. Inside was an exact replica of her sister's room. Every book, every plush toy, every drawing. But she was wrong. Her face was pale, her eyes lifeless. She didn't blink, didn't smile. "Myra," she whispered, "you came too late?" Tears poured down Myra's cheeks. Riley's voice darkened. She held something in her hands, the burned notebook. The very one Myra had locked away years ago. Myra reached for it, but Riley's expression twisted into something inhuman. "Get back on the bus." The room shook. The bed frame snapped in half. Dust rained from a sky that didn't exist. Myra ran. She stumbled back onto the platform and collapsed. And there, rising through the fog, was the only person who had ever believed her. Chris. He was soaked, panting, clutching a crowbar. "You're not crazy," he said. The platform began to crack and shift. "We have to go," he told her. The bus was returning. They leapt back on. But this time, the seats were full. Each passenger sat stiff, facing forward, all silent. Some were familiar. Some were long gone. Her grandmother, her old music teacher, the boy who drowned in 7th grade. All of them had boarded the bus and never come back. The driver finally stood. "No face. You paid to get on," he said, "but not to leave." Chris stepped in front of her. "We're not paying anything." The bus interior changed. It became a long corridor of mirrors and doors, each one showing versions of Myra's life. The mirror showed her failing Riley, forgetting her birthday, ignoring the signs. In the end, she knew what she had to do. She turned to Chris. "I brought the grief. I opened the door. I made the bus come." He shook his head, begging her not to. But she kissed his cheek and said, "Tell the world. Don't let them forget." And she walked through the final door. Chris awoke alone, on a normal bus. Morning sunlight shone through the windows. The red bus was gone. He made it out. But Myra didn't. Days later, Riley was found wandering near an abandoned transit yard, confused, alive. But when asked about her sister, she said, "I don't remember having one." Chris never stopped searching. At the center of everything was a single phrase scrawled across a burned piece of journal paper. "She paid the fare, I got out, but I forgot who helped me." He still walks past bus stops at night. And sometimes, when the fog is just thick enough, when the streetlights flicker, he sees a red bus roll by. Number 333, and at the very back seat is a young woman watching him. Calm, pale, and no longer human. If you ever find yourself alone at a bus stop after midnight, and a red bus rolls up without a sound, don't get on. Someone already paid the fare.